Hello everybody, how are you today? We are in our Gaia live sessions. This is our fourth interview of these sessions we are doing, and today we have Jorge Pérez. He is the leader and founder of Patax. If you don't know Patax, you should check your YouTube right now and check it out, because it's really amazing what he's doing, and I think it will be really interesting what he has here to share with us. And we have Fag here.
Hello.
Kinsing.
Hi.
And Jorge, how are you today, brother?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing great, and I'm very happy to be sharing this moments with you guys. I'm in Seville. I'm in Seville these days. So I'm from Madrid, but now I'm staying some days in the south of Spain, in the very roots of the flamenco. One of the styles that I use a lot in my band. So it's great to be surrounded by flamenco people, and I have my cajon with me here, so I'm getting some information.
Oh, of course. Nothing better than be in the place, the roots, where the roots are, you know.
Absolutely.
Especially in the music you are doing, that you combine. Well, let's talk about what you do and things like that later. But, you know, I have some questions for you, and basically, how is a day in the life of Jorge? I mean, how, you know, when you are organizing your projects, your band, as you know, Patax is a big band, you are arranging, you are the leader, you have to, you know, promote yourself, you have to conduct all the band. So basically, like, how is a day in a...
How is my daily life?
Sí, señor. Yes.
Well, I have two types of days, very different from each other. One type of day is when I'm touring, when I'm traveling. Most of the times that I'm touring is with my band, but I also I'm a side musician for other projects. I was touring last month with Jesus Molina, a pianist from Colombia.
Oh yeah, of course.
And so in those days, I'm basically focusing on the tour. With Patax, I am also the tour manager, and most of the times the driver of the band if we are touring in Spain. So those days are completely immersed in the tour, organizing the, you know, arriving on time to the sound check, going to the hotel, then performing, and, you know, signing, selling, merchandising. So it's a day that it's completely dedicated to the tour. And imagine even more when I'm traveling far away to other countries. And the other type of day is when I'm completely relaxed at home, and I don't have any appointments, and I don't have any tours or any traveling, and then is when I produce and when I create. So of course there are some exceptions. Some other days where I have a recording in Madrid, but basically those are those two types of days, right? Everybody can imagine what a touring day is, so let's not go into details. Let's go into the details of a normal day in my life when I don't have to travel. Those days are could be the most productive days or the least productive days, because it really depends on what you do. I mean, I can wake up at 7 in the morning or at 12 at noon. It really depends on me. Nobody is there to ask for anything, and that's the good thing, but the dangerous thing also, because if you don't really organize yourself, your time flies and nothing gets done. It really depends on myself. I don't have a boss or a deadline. I could be watching Netflix all day, or writing music, sending mails, talking with promoters, writing lyrics for a singer. It really depends on me. I really like to be my own boss, so it's fun. But I don't know if I could recommend this type of life to anybody, because it really depends on your character and in your capacity to be a tough boss with yourself, to say, okay, this morning I have to get this done. And so one of those days, what I do, I try to practice at least an hour before lunchtime. And in the morning, besides the practicing time, it's more a few hours of office. Office means answering mails, sending an invoice, calling your manager to say that you need this and that. You don't get much creative work done. Then I have a siesta. I always have a siesta. For me, that means starting the day again from scratch. So the energy is again like in the morning. I forgot to say that I wake up pretty early, something like 7, around this 7, 8. Of course, it depends of how late I went to bed last night, but the previous night. But I wake up early without an alarm clock. My head, when it's rested enough, it starts working. So I don't need an alarm. Of course, if I have to take a plane, I put an alarm clock. But if I have to just work, I wait for my body to rest. Is the connection okay?
Yeah, I mean here.
Hello,
Okay.
hello.
Hello.
Yeah, it's a little bit slow, but
I'm not seeing you guys. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving.
Should I continue?
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
we can listen you. We can listen you well. Yeah. Please
Okay. I didn't see you.
align us.
So my as I was saying, my day starts pretty early without an alarm clock, just when my body is rested enough and it starts working. And so at 3 p.m. I really need a siesta, as I told you. So I have a siesta, and then around, let's say 5, I start activity again. And then is when my creative part, writing, producing, and arranging, starts in the afternoon, when I have the office work already down, and I'm ready to focus on the fun part, because the office part is not fun at all. You have to do it. But
Yeah, but it's necessary.
So the afternoon,
it's necessary to to deal with these things.
Absolutely. And I tend to externalize. I mean, I have a little team with myself now, a woman that does all the invoices and administration work, and another person that does what I ask her to do in terms of managing, booking, call this festival, please let me know about this, do some research in Germany for things. So I have people that help me with those things that I don't really like to do. So in the afternoon, I'm open and my mindset is already like, okay, I did the office for today. Let's focus on creating, and that's when I write music, or I arrange, or I practice more if I have the time. So I also take time to practice like an hour or 2 hours more in the afternoon, besides the creative part. And that takes us to dinner time. To be honest, I don't take much care of cooking. I would love to have the time, but one of the things that I tell to my students is that you have to choose. I mean, cooking is great, but you spend lots of time if you do like serious cooking, and you have to buy the food, and you have to clean, wash the dishes, and it's an expensive expensive activity time wise. So if you have the time, that's great. If you prefer playing 45 more minutes, then maybe you have to order some food or eat some vegetables and some fruits, and that's it. So I'm pretty radical with that. Time is limited, and you have to choose what to do with it. And I choose to be productive. So many days my dinner is fruit, and also I have my parents pretty close to me, so I go to their place and eat. That's very helpful.
That's good.
And it's not that I wouldn't like to have a proper meal and cook. I really like it, but I prefer playing 1 more hour, to be honest, or doing something else. So that takes me to after dinner, and I start my most creative part of the day there. Like from 11 to 2 in the morning, that's when I'm really in my element and on fire. That's when because I had a siesta, so I'm not tired, and it's not office hours at all. Nobody's calling, nobody's really bothering. So you have great 3 hours of creative moment for yourself, and I love the feeling of the city is turning off, people are going to bed, and I'm turning on, and I'm getting into this magic moment where everything is dark, and I'm with myself saying, okay, let's see.
With these glasses you look like a wizard there. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I didn't explain why I'm wearing the glasses. It's not that I love ¿cómo se dice?
You're a rock star? Is that why?
It's not that I'm a rock star. It's not that I'm imitating Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, Lenny Kravitz.
It's not a Lenny Kravitz look. It's that I got a hit in my eye a few days ago with a tablet. So I prefer to look fancy.
So nobody kicked you. It was with the tablet, everything. Okay.
It would be great to say that I had a fight with some people, but no, it was with a tablet. I turned my head and somebody had. So cool. Not very.
Could you please simply describe your band Patax for the audience?
Yeah, for the audience here in Asia, can you describe like what is Patax?
Sure. Well, we could say that Patax is a fusion jazz band, maybe more fusion than jazz. But still, I don't really like the tags a lot, because I would say that it's a big band, not in the technical aspect. We are just a big bunch of people. We are like 12, although sometimes we travel with less or with more. Depending on the repertoire and the budget and whatever I feel like doing, because I'm the boss of the idea, for the good or for the bad. And we play energetic music, I would say. Music that has a big intensity, and both the compositions and the performance need to be like very energetic, mixing for styles or four, I mean, mixing many styles, but basically based on four foundations. One would be Afro-Cuban music, that it's my first love, maybe the music that I studied when I was in my early 20s, and I went to Cuba several times, and I stayed there for a long time, and I studied with some masters there, and for many years that was all that I was listening, Afro-Cuban music. Then another foundation would be pop rock, Lenny Kravitz. But the pop rock that I listened when I was a teenager, that really made an impact in me, from Michael Jackson to Lenny Kravitz, Toto, Bon Jovi, Led Zeppelin. I mean, good pop rock music.
Yeah.
A third foundation would be flamenco. The music of my country, and of the south of my country, because Spain is not a very big country, but it has a huge diversity of music.
Yes.
And flamenco only belongs to the south of Spain. In the north, we have an amazing folklore, also very different. And the fourth foundation would be jazz. That I studied in Berkeley, and that I also listened to for years. And more than the sound of jazz, is more about the approach. The openness of the interpretation of the performance, the existence of solos in every song. So a normal average Patax song would be a song that has some flamenco influence in the groove, some Latin instrumentation, bata, bongo, timbal, congas in the percussion field. A pop rock approach in the composition, with a catchy head and maybe guitar and synth sounds to it, and a jazzy approach when it comes to the form, and to put a solo here and there, and to make the musicians really have a big freedom to interpret the paper, or to understand what I want from them. It's not king. It's not that. It's not pop. I write that, but they could. You have more freedom to understand the grooves, and that comes from the jazz world, right? So that's what a Patax song would look like.
Yeah, Jorge. Something that I wanna ask you, because I'm also led to the audience, because Jorge and me, we met in Berkeley, like already maybe 11 years ago. And when we met in Madrid, you told me, like, because you start with Patax, and on the beginning there were a lot of challenges. Just talking about the music part, for example, like how to arrange brasses, how to, things that, like maybe we are not so proficiency in the moment. But you told me something: don't be stuck in the problems. You gotta find a solution. If you don't know how to do it, find somebody to do it. I mean, many people think that to start a project, you know already everything, but it's not like that. So I just wanna ask you, or have you, about your experience about this, or how do you see this process? Because right now Patax is an international band touring around the world. So yeah, can you tell us a little bit about this?
Sure. Yeah, it's a very interesting topic. I think a huge mistake when it comes to do a big project and a big song and a composition, anything that it's deep, is to think that you need to have the whole picture figured out before you start. That's a huge mistake, and it really paralyzes you from starting, because you never maybe Mozart did, but I never have the whole picture in my head when I start something, a tour, a song. I think you find your way in the process. You just need to start with something that motivates and that looks good. And when it comes to the writing situation, for example, I only need a trigger, something that excites me musically. Could be a set of chords that wow, or a groove in the bass, or a melody. And I could give you examples of some of my songs that started with a trigger that was a groove, or that was a short chord changes, or there was a little melody that I heard in the radio. Only with that, you can build a business. You just need to start growing the idea, and you don't need to have the whole picture figured out at all. You know, something. I just made that up, okay? For example, maybe that it's a trigger for someone. Says, hey, wait, that sounds interesting. Man, if you work on that idea and you develop it and you transform it, and that's an intro, and then you put a melody on top, and then after a few days of work, you have a thing that you couldn't think of at the beginning. You just needed something that excited you creatively. So I don't know if I'm answering your question directly.
Yes, of course.
But I think this is useful for someone that really wants to get into composing and to making a huge thing. Start with a little step. You know, when we get to that bridge, sorry, that's in Spanish said that I like. When we get to that river, we will build that bridge. So let's solve problems when they appear, not before. You know, we'll build the bridge when we get to the river, not before. So start walking. Maybe you have to kill a dinosaur or a monster, and then marry princess, and then you find the river. So then you build the bridge. But if you have to organize the whole trip in advance, you are never going to start the trip.
Cool. Yeah, I think pretty clear, brother. Yeah.
I have a question regarding the band, like working with the band, because I mean it's quite a big band, right? Like it's a huge. You said it's a big band, a couple of singers, a couple of brass players, a whole rhythm section, everything. Like, can you share some experience or some advice, maybe also how to deal with all these different kinds of people, how to get all these different interests together? You know, how to deal with the organization of the band from the leader perspective.
The different characters of musicians, the egos, all these things,
Yeah. I'm going to answer very directly and even in a rude way, and then I'm going to explain.
That's very good. That's very good. We appreciate that for sure.
The way of keeping the harmony and everything with a big band of people, a big group of people, is paying.
Is what?
Is paying. Paying.
That's where the I comes from. Now we know.
Exactly. No, I mean, that's only true to a certain point, but it's true. Let me explain. I mean, my bandmates are good friends. They are amazing people. And if they didn't like the project musically and personally and the atmosphere, they wouldn't be there. But at the same time, you have to be very serious with the conditions you give them. To be a boss, being a boss has many benefits. I mean, you do what you want. You play where you want, or where they let you play. You decide when, where, how the merchandising looks, the lyrics, the format. I want to tour like a quartet this year. Everything. I mean, you have lots of possibilities. It's really great to be the boss of a project. But at the same time, to be the boss, you need to give very good conditions to your workers. They are friends, they are great artists, everything, but they are your workers. They have to go to decent hotels. They have to have a good payment for what they do. They need to have good schedules for the flights, not 4 a.m. because you save $25 per flight if they fly at 4 a.m. instead of flying at 11. So you have to take care of that. You have to have this type of for example, of conditions with them. If you have a gig and it's canceled less than 2 months before the date, you have to pay them a cancellation fee, for example. Because if you don't, the next time you call them for a gig, they say, well, I can't guarantee you because you could cancel the concert 3 weeks before. And if, I don't know, Ketama, which is a nice band in Spain, calls me to tour with them, I don't know if I should or not because your things could be canceled last minute. No. That doesn't work like that. If I confirm a date with them, that means that they are going to get paid for that date during the concert or having a cancellation fee if it gets canceled. And sometimes I had to put of my own money, losing money because I had to compensate my musicians. So there's a set of compromises that need to be there if you want to have a decent, serious working project. It's not just, I have some dates. Oh, sorry guys, it was canceled. No, I feel sick. No. It has to be as serious as you can. So the answer to your question is really accurate when I say paying, being serious, offering good conditions to your musicians, and then they want to play with you, and the harmony and the environment is friendly. Of course, then you have to choose musicians that are also close to your personality and you get along with. But if the conditions are good for them, it's easier that they are friendly, like that.
But for example, when you started and you want to create this big band, I mean, about that process, pay them, but, when somebody start a project, maybe they don't have much money. I mean, you can work. I mean, like, okay, I will work for maybe 1 year, or I will go in a cruiser and save money and after start my project. But from the beginning, you already have the big budget, or was like something that was
No, that's a good question. It's true. In the beginning, I didn't have a big budget, but they saw that I made an effort to have the best conditions possible for them. And they were pretty generous, and at the same time they looked to the future. They say, okay, this guy is trying hard, he's serious with the rehearsals, with the music, he's doing his best out of a little venue, he's paying. Okay, probably he didn't get any payment today, but he's putting an effort to his band. So they see a good attitude. They see, okay, if this band grows, this guy looks like the type of guy that is going to be serious with the conditions. So maybe the first 2 years, the fee or the budget that I paid was not very professional yet, but the attitude was the most professional it could be in those situations. So I think they saw, okay, potential. Okay, this looks good. Let's invest some effort, some time here, because this guy is doing his best to pay us as much as he can. And the drummer is the same drummer that started the band. The bass player is the same bass player. So most of the band is the band that started when we played little venues for 14 people in the audience. So we did something good. And it's not only me, it's also them. We did something that was good enough that we are still together, most of us.
Yeah.
12 years later, or almost 12.
Really, really good. See, I the other day I was watching the new project. I mean, new was the last project we're doing with the Beatles, the tribute and arrangement. Yeah. And I saw the musician, and as you say, are mostly the same, and that's great. Yeah. Keep the same band from. Jorge.
Yeah, I have to thank them, not only because I did the things correctly.
Yeah,
but
and
also
you know what? I saw when, because you know the camera is recording since when you are in the car, putting your things, and you go to the and you see like good vibes when you meet after a long time. In the first rehearsal, I can see, hey man, how are you? You know, like really good,
it's true.
you know, really good vibes.
Yeah, they are friends. They are friends now. They are friends, but they were musicians first. I mean, I didn't call friends. I called the best musicians that I thought for the project.
Of course.
And then we are good people. We treat each other kindly, so we became friends. But we were bandmates first.
Jorge, to thank you for this interview, and you know, I think it's really nice what you say, and it's pretty clear and can give to people like more knowledge and inspiration to start their own bands and projects. And now that you are in Sevilla, and and actually where are you sitting right now? What do you have there? You know,
well, when I was a teenager, I said, okay, in the future, my dream is to have a house full of cajons, no chairs. All of the chairs would be Spanish or Peruvian, Flamenco or Peruvian cajons. And I don't have the house yet, but I have the cajons. I have a ton of cajons, and I started my own company. I don't know if you know that.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Maybe you don't. Yeah, I started like 3 years ago, and now it's doing good. A company of percussion instruments in carbon fiber.
Ah, yes. Of
course. And now the company is starting to be international. We are selling all around. So now I'm sitting on a cajon made by our company, which is a carbon fiber cajon.
Oh. Perfect to show them here in Asia.
Yeah, wow. It's really awesome. Look at this.
Yeah, it's pretty light, right? It's
very light. And look at this. Look at this. This is promo time. Look.
You have to send me some here to Taiwan
look at this. I'm on the cajon. This cajon doesn't break. It's super resistant.
Wow.
So it's great to travel around with it, because you can put it in the plane and check it in, and no worries. It's a super resistant cajon.
You have to send some here to Taiwan, and you know, like
we can promote
sure.
and
some demos.
Distributor.
We can talk later about that.
Make a business.
Yes. No, it's really a nice cajon. The company is called Carbono Instruments. Carbono, like carbon in Spanish. Carbono Instruments. And it's really interesting. So I'm also busy with that. And yeah, I'm sitting on a carbon fiber cajon.
Wow.
Cool. So, because you are in the south, and can you show to the people here some rhythm typical from flamenco, and you know,
sure.
So, and you know, like...
Sure. Yeah, why not? Okay, a very popular style called. The styles in flamenco are called palos. A very popular palo in the south is bulerías. Bulerías is it's a super fun style to play. Pretty complex rhythmically-wise. We could say it's a 3/4. I would explain it in 2 bars of 3/4. Pum pum, que está 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 y 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
¡Epa! Ahí estamos.
That would be a Bulería.
Sí, buenísimo.
If you need, I could explain this slowly, or
Well, maybe
But,
to close the
so that would be a
interview,
Bulería.
we can close it like that, like explaining a little bit, like the Bulería.
Sure.
A brief.
Yeah. Okay. Let me do a short Bulería class if you want. Very short, not bother anybody. Well, basically, the Bulería, it's a very interesting style, and it really embodies the spirit of flamenco. I think best, or the best, even more than any other styles or palos, because it has this spirit of fast strength and surprise. When people that know nothing about flamenco think about flamenco, they think about this ole type of thing, right? That it's very, very little flamenco, but this type of energy, bing. That's what people that know nothing about flamenco have in their brain about flamenco, right? The strength and the attitude and the closings, and well, that's mostly Bulería. Other palos don't have this attitude as much. Tanguillo, seguidillas, rumbas, they don't have the spirit as much as the Bulería, maybe. So a good start for flamenco, maybe, not only for the musical, but also for the aesthetic of flamenco, is to start knowing about Bulería. So as I told you, if you had to write it down, I would use 2 bars of 3/4. But there's a sentence that gypsy people use a lot, and you need to know it to understand Bulería, which is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? That sentence is really a song. It really doesn't match the numbers where the place where you sing them. And that's the biggest reason of confusion in Bulería. Let me explain. If you say the song is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, in Spanish, dos means 2, right? But they sing the 2 in the beginning of the bar, in the first beat, which would be the 1 if you had to explain this to a German player.
Okay.
In the academic, in the academics.
We have one here.
Please.
We have one here, yes. So you have the best example here. But he's more Latino.
I go to Germany. I go to Germany to teach frequently. So I have a German student in my head. So to a German student or a Canadian or whatever, everybody outside of the flamenco world, you would say the beginning of the pattern is the 1. 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3, 1, right? In every style, in Berkeley, everywhere, the beginning is, let's close in the 1. Tum, tum, pa, chiki, tiki, tugu, 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 bra. The 1, right? Here in Bulerías, they call the 1 echu, because they sing with a pickup. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Sería 2.
So it's really a pickup. It's 1, 2, okay? So I really encourage you to learn the song 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But learn it, but don't think that the numbers mean the place. It's just a song, but it's useful, because if a flamenco player says, let's close in the 9th end, isn't the 9th end of the flamenco way of counting?
Yes.
For example. Let me do a closing in the 9th end. Look. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 9N. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that's a 9th end of the flamenco way of counting.
Yes.
If you write it in Berkeley or in Germany, it's not a 9th end. Actually it's a 10th end. So it's boom, So the flamenco way of counting is very useful to get along with the gypsies and to understand, or gypsies, or the people not necessarily gypsies, people that are into flamenco a lot. And that would be a first class of a super short, shallow class of Bulería.
I think,
of course,
really
we
good.
could be talking for hours.
Of course, but at least it's a brief, so people when they listen Patax, they will figure what the fuck. now they can kind of get it.
Yeah, for example, our arrangement of Billie Jean, which is one of the most popular on YouTube, we have a big part in Bulería, and we switched to rumbas we switched to cha-cha-cha in a part.
Really beautiful.
So if they want to see it like a use of the Bulería in a more fusion environment, that's a good example. For example, our Billie Jean arrangement.
Yeah, we will share your links in our description so people can check it out. And that's it, Jorge. That was a really great interview. I think you gave us a lot of, of your experience to share and to keep like ourselves and our audience keep making music and motivate to do our best and enjoy what we do, brother.
My pleasure. Anytime we can continue talking in front of the cameras or without the cameras. It's my pleasure.
let's do it, man, because we didn't talk for a long time, so we can be more in touch.
I would like to finish with something that might help some students and some people that are in the creative struggle.
Oh yes.
I think the most important quality to make something creative and to finish the whole way from the creative part to make it, put it in a business and making a profit out of it and working and doing that is not knowledge, which is very useful. Is not your personal skills or your musical abilities, which are very useful, all of them.
Of course, yeah.
It's the intensity you put on things. It's
the focus, right? The energy you put there.
Focusedness and having a goal that I want to get this, I need to do a certain things and be intense with your goal.
With
be
passion.
Positive and be on top of it. I know many people that are very, very talented and they are super wise, musically wise, and they know a lot, and they don't have the intensity. They just wake up and then today we'll have to send a mail and then maybe tomorrow. No, and they don't really get their goals. And I know some people that don't have those skills or that talent, but they are really focused on their objective or their goal.
The goals,
and those people reach the goal. So it's more about your drive and your focusedness, I think.
Thank you for this conclusion, and that's a beautiful way to finish this interview. Jorge, thank you so much for being here with us, and we hope you the best.
Gracias, señor.
Enjoy your time in Sevilla, jam a lot there with all these amazing people there, musicians. Have fun, and with the tour with Patax, also that we hope you have a great success. And brother, we send you a big hug. Thank you so much for being here again. And
my pleasure. And maybe an idea is to go and tour for you guys there. That's something we have to think about.
Yeah, let's make an exchange.
Are you musicians, the three of you?
Yeah,
Or
we have.
you
We
are?
are in the band. I will share you later our
Man,
music.
so I just need to bring the dancer and the singer. We have the band there.
Yeah, of
That's
course,
cool.
of course.
Yeah.
You know, Jorge was here. Jorge Pardo was here, and we were playing
Yeah.
here. We were playing
Yeah.
here. So
Man,
of course it's
another good thing
possible.
about being that's amazing. Another good thing about being the boss of a project is that you just need to take your ideas. You don't even need to take the band.
That's true.
So that's an idea.
Okay, brother.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Guys, thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get like all the information and press the bell. See you soon, guys. Thank
See
you.
you.
Like, ciao.
Okay.
Ciao.